Ooh, profile. Ah, okay. This is basically just default stuff. Codename administrator. Gender not allowed. Authentication not allowed. DOB not allowed. Race not allowed. You remember nothing. Your memories lie in fragments, like dreams crushed to dust, disappearing at the slightest thought. Sometimes it makes you unsettled, sometimes uneasy, yet it grants you a quiet moment to breathe and think. Most of the time, however, there is no pause for doubt. You just simply trust those before you and press on. Perhaps you've tucked your past memories away, even for just a little while. So, you remember nothing. You've lived through all of Talos 2's history. But what will we make of its future? And Operation, it's just basically this stuff is just voice lines.
I hear Orignium singing.
I'll probably, yeah. Yeah, we'll cover that later. Operator gone. Oh, okay.
Operator Protocol, standing by.
Very cool. Faction, Prolica. Faction, Enfield Industries. Race, Liberi. Yeah. They do a lot of different names for basically the different races of in the world. Liberi is basically avian. Most of the names they use for the races are Latin words. In the case for Liberi, free. I've read wrong. It derives from the Latin word liber, free, which is in reference to the idiom free as a bird. Expertise 1, team management. Prolica has the managerial powers and diplomatic resources to coordinate the various operations. She also allocates resources and personnel in a flexible and rational fashion to ensure the success in various production activities and joint ventures. Expertise 2, Originium Arts. Protocol enhancement. Thanks to Techno Protocol, her special arts unit designs are now widely used as they allow low aptitude users to cast arts normally as well. Hobby 1. Extreme food taster. Lifestyle. Extreme food taster. No dietary preferences and capable of gaining weight. After meeting Chen, Prolica became interested in food that she'd never tried before. And her second hobby is Wildland Speedster. She's the light and shadow of the band, and her bike leaves trails in snow and sand. However, only shared the secret. You. Her date of birth is March 16th. I'm going to be straight honest, and I also should have mentioned this during Blue Archive. I like it when games like this games like these give actual birth dates to characters. I like that, and I honestly can't wait to see what these guys do with birthdays. Because Blue Archive will give character buffs during their birthdays. Genshin will give will give you a letter from a character, even if you don't have them. They will send a letter, and in it will basically be some materials and cooking if they have any special meals. Oropathy infection status. That's a big one. Oropathy is a disease. Patients will die soon after their bodies start to crystallize and become new vectors of infestation. So far, there is no known cure for oropathy. not even in the main game. So the fact that they have so the fact that they are also bringing Oropathy into here is a little alarming. Like, not like straight honest. Like, for a good example, why? Yeah. Well, actually, I want to wait till we finish off. Till we finish looking at the things for the other two characters we have before we do that. Integrated physical examination, physiological strength, standard, combat skill, standard, tactile acumen, outstanding, Originium arts assimilation, excellent. Human Resources Summary. Perlica, supervisor of Enfield Industries, is one of the official spokespersons for Enfield. She's primarily responsible for overseeing and advancing the development and application of Protocol Originium technology protocols, while also managing operations of the Dijon. It's been a long time since I last heard anyone question whether she deserves the title of supervisor. She has silenced all doubts with tangible results, proving M3's words true. This position exists because of Perlica. Don't get the order wrong. I can still hardly believe someone so young is capable of supporting the management of entire Enfield's industries. Yet, under her leadership, the futures that Enfield strives towards is only growing clearer. However, she isn't flawless in handling everything. For instance, as a key figure in managing the crisis team, she shouldn't constantly risk herself on the front lines alongside the members. Even if she continues to dismiss my requests, I will still urge her to reassess the risks. Marvin Mallon, Assistant HR Division, Enfield Industries. This one's going to be a little... Like many operators within Enfield Industries, Supervisor Perlica survived a disaster as a child and found refuge under the care of the administrator in Enfield Industries alongside other children who lost their families. During her education and growth, she showed exceptional curiosity towards techno protocol and gradually became involved within the foundation operations of Enfield Industries on Talos 2. In less than 2 years, her footsteps had reached cities both large and small across the planet, and her understanding of the threats we face far surpassed that of ordinary individuals. Her passion for techno protocol led her to join the R&D Center, where she later played a key role in achieving major breakthroughs in the development and application of techno protocol for Enfield Industries. Naturally, she was officially appointed as supervisor, taking helm of the Dijon, the colossal structure suspended in its artificial stationary orbit above Talos 2. Document. A certain log that requires sufficient authority level. Of course, Perlica's past was never as consistently fortunate as the public records might suggest. Over a decade ago, you rescued her while preparing for the expedition, offering her unwavering support at a time when she was still lost and fearful. Yet she could never anticipate that the same crusade would soon turn her life upside down once more. She lost you. In the years that followed, most of the children you saved alongside her moved on to new lives. This includes Laika, who she considered a sister, eventually left John and chose to go her separate way. As her friends gradually departed, the weight of responsibility on her shoulders grew heavier, and the development of techno protocol repeatedly hit roadblocks. Yet she stubbornly remained on its most difficult path, winning us over through her actions. It's true she's received support from many along the way, but no one understands her better than I do the efforts she has when she's poured in, and the hardships she's endured. You have a chat with her. She's been waiting far too long. And we don't have access to the other two things because we need to basically raise their trust, which actually is a thing that the original game does as well. So we'll be back when we reach higher rankings.
What's this?
Chen.
Awesome, right?
We'll look at abilities and stat stuff when we're done. When we're done with this stuff. Chen is a member of the Lung race. Lung Um. uh, Lung are have traits of Chinese dragons, and they also do yeah. Their name is the Wade Giles romanization for the Chinese world word for dragon, lung, lung. In Pian, it's rendered as long. I don't know if I got either of those two pronunciations right. I'm not Chinese. I also should state on record, my mind goes to a little thing that Hoyoverse does. I mean Hoyo does. Basically, they have XPs of certain characters. One such famous one is Raiden Mei, the Archon of Lightning in the Lightning Archon in Hoyo, Genshin, because she also shows up as Raiden Mei in Honkai Third Impact, and Acheron in Star Rail. By the way, all of them are voiced by the same character, are voiced by the same person in both English and Japanese. Actually, I should double check in for Japanese, but in English, but Japanese, yeah, it's the same person. It is the same person who voices. Who voices her in the thing. I think Allegra Clark, who voices Acheron, voices Raiden in Genshin. I'm double checking right now. Oh, never mind. No, she's not. She's not. English. She voices Beto in Genshin. Yeah, in Japanese, they're all voiced by the same person. Oddly, it's not the same for Chen. It's not the same for Chen's Japanese voice actress. Because in Japanese, because her Japanese voice actress does not show up in Arknights. It's well, actually, no. I'm double checking. Oh, by the way, she will be voicing a character we will meet up with in Toho in Blue Archive. Yeah, Shen's Japanese voice actress, Sayumi Suzushiro, does not voice Chen in Arknights. She voices a character called Jackie. And the same goes for her English voice actor, because she voices Pith. But I still kind of feel that it's still basically the Enfield version of Chen from Arknights. I'm still pretty sure it's the same thing. I'm pretty sure they're trying to pull Hoyo. Anyway, I'm fumbling off topic. Expertise 1, Erudite. Mix of every stance. Every school of martial arts has their own advantages. She merged them all and came up with her own. Nobody knew that attack sequence could include 4 stances at once before she pulled it off. Epiphany. Flash of insight. She only needs to see it once to master it. This is not an exaggeration, by the way. I fucking love those types of characters. Like, just see a stance or ability once, and you can copy it. I do. Those types of enemies, and well, actually, I shouldn't say enemies. Those types of characters are royally fucking interesting to me. Hobbies 1. Culture. Enlightenment by Rote. Do not interrupt her when she's in a rare mood for reciting passages from the biographies of martial masters from Great Yan. Unless you want to hear her recite the boxing manual for Red Browed Wing Chun Chung and charity, stand up for justice. Altruism. Such is the essence of a true warrior. Her date of birth is August 18th. Orpathy negative. Excellent physiological strength. Excellent combat skill. Standard tactical acumen and standard original simulation. Operator Chen Kuan Yu was a native of Hongshan City and once served at the Wuling Scientific and Developmental District. Supervisor Perlica later recruited her via private channel to Enfield Industries. She's now a core member of the crisis team. Given her outstanding capabilities and mobility, Operator Chen is an indisputable component of the team. Those seeking to join Enfield have demonstrated a wide range of literary skills when describing their motive. However, the PR division has yet to establish basic standards for reviewing the personal motivations section. If this section were completed in a manner that is too curt and or straightforward, I will ask the operator to rewrite their motivations in a style they are comfortable with. However, despite being given 5 standardized revised to this section, Operator Chen still persists in writing, "I just want to join. It's fate." Reading this, I realized the need to reflect upon our current review standards and establish a new framework, paying extra attention to 2 blades that Chen placed on my table. Though she claimed she did not do so to threaten me. I love the stupid little things like that. Operator Chen's inner thoughts and feelings are not as casual as she makes them out to be. Taking into consideration her relatively rich past experiences, it is obvious that the extremely brief and terse description of her personal motives was the conclusion she arrived at after an extended period of self-contemplation. Additionally, I also realized that Chen's recruitment had been specifically approved by Supervisor Perlica. From my readings, the recent years have been a period where our supervisor exhibited emotional fluctuations. The operator managed to solve many potential issues by offering much needed stability and support. Most importantly, I may have neglected how the simple line, "I just want to join, it's fate," is actually congruent to the inner logic of Enfield's strategic objectives. In other words, these words could be seen as an alternate interpretation of the unity and purpose approach in partnership as exposed by our administrator, which I also have in my records. Perhaps we now have an explanation capable of satisfying all parties involved in this review. Pardon Marvin Mellon. Results of Operator Chen's background checks are not complicated. The operator is as consistent, simple, and straightforward as she appears. Operator Chen grew up in the Hongshan crater and studied swordmancy in Tanjian Hall. Prior to joining Enfield, she was interned at various organizations and served different individual employers. Hence, in spite of her young age, Operator Chen has years of solo combat experience. After a period of adjustment, she's now grown used to team-based combat. Unlike many youths who lost their parents in pioneering operations in the unforgiving and disaster-ridden lands of Talos II, Chen grew up in a wholesome and happy family. Her relatively simple childhood also gave her unshakable optimism. She is often praised for her excellent teamwork and stunning personality in multiple instances of team-based operations. Many key collaborators, including Chief Engineer Andre, have high hopes for Operator Chen and believe she is a poster child for a certain facet of Enfield: young, positive, friendly, and eager to intercede and solve any problem that needs to be solved. Additional notes. There we go. During early contact, we realized that Operator Chen has, without question or doubt, earned stellar performance reviews at multiple employers. However, many are still curious as to why she never stayed at a particular employer for extensive periods of time.
To date, Operator Chen has spent the longest period of time working for Enfield. We asked her this question during a regular interview, and her answers are provided below. Cheers and drinks in La Fantoma? Fantoma? Wait, did I actually work there for 3 months? Yeah, that's easy to explain. I had my fill of milk tea, so I left. Oh, temporary security personnel. Yeah, I wasn't old enough to get an actual job, but I really needed the money for my next stop. My only choice was to work in expos and conferences. Yeah, those were the months where I spent plenty of big shots in Taos too. Hold on, my graduation year performance at Hanjian Hall is actually excellent? Wait, you're not reading wrong, right? Well, it's normal for me to be clueless about this. I never picked up enough courage to check the results. Yeah, I'm just a little worried my mentors would compare me to my mom. I spent more than a year at Yinglong Special Task Force. Yeah, I did that. But can we not talk about this? Well, there's nothing to hide. I just don't find the place a good match for me. Did you say there are people who don't get along with me? Okay, that's ridiculous. You know anything about Dukio the Half-Face, the notorious gang leader from Asphalt Roundabout? He's had a pretty nice combo with him, you know?
Wind speed's okay. Visibility's good. Perfect weather for snowboarding.
And our male reward character, Snowshine. Faction Rhodes Island. Okay. Rhodes Island is our group in the normal game. And I'm also noticed I'm kind of blocking the thing. Yeah, Rhodes Island is our organization in the main game. Okay, so Rhodes Island exists in Enfield. Interesting. So it's interesting. And considering the fact that we saw those graves, I'm wondering, did we actually see, are those, okay. To be straight honest, when we were reading Chen's stuff, my mind was going with, okay, this is probably like an alternate version, alternate universe type deal. Like maybe her mom is Chen from the main game. You know? Also, since I was blocking it, yeah, there's Lung. And also there's Libery for Relica.
Wind speed's okay.
Anyway.
Visibility's good. Perfect weather for snowboarding.
Anyway, Ursus. Bears. Can't tell by her adorable ears. Bears. Do I really need to explain Ursus? Ursa Major? Ursa Minor? Yeah. Expertise 1, outdoor survival. She's living off the land. She's a 5-time consecutive champion of the SAR 1-hour field chow gathering competition. Medical technique. Emergency life-saving. She often has to carry out standard CPR in extremely hostile environments. Hobby 1, sports. Freestyle skiing. I feel lighter whenever I step on a snowboard. Well, as though just start lifting off the snow. Natural altruist. Altruist. To Snowshine, helping people with errands and chores every now and then has become a habit of sorts. Also, since I was not expecting the Rhode Island's name drop, I want to check real quick. I want to check something real quick. Is she in the main game? Oh, really? Okay. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, no. This actually is a character from the main game.
This actually is a character from the main game, but she doesn't go by Snowshine. Her name's Aurora. Grabbing a picture for her right now. But yeah, no, I'm looking at it's actually it's her. I will be doing this part if we ever run into any other Rhode Island versions. But yeah. It's really her. So that means that Rhode Island is the actual candidate in this. Oh Jesus. Oropathy negative based on medical examination reports. Yeah. Like I said, there are a few characters that actually do have oropathy. I'm going to give a few of them. Well, actually, I'm going to give one. I'm giving the one basically that you'll be seeing a lot more when you see them. Our sidekick for the main game, Amiya. Her cell originium assimilation, basically how much of her cells are infected, is 19%. She is the high out of all the operators that have oropathy. She's the highest. The highest. The only ones closer. Well, actually, she's tied with another one, but still, she is one of the highest. Highest. Her blood originium crystal density, basically how many originium particles in every liter of her blood, 0.27 liters. UL. At least I'm reading, if I'm reading that right. It's not the highest because there's someone at 1.5, and my mind's going, okay, is that either in that's 0.50 liters? That's 0.50 liters, and that's luckily no one's reached one liter yet. But yeah, Amiya has to wear rings to suppress her infection. That's how bad some of it can get. Hell, another one who actually is one of the lowest. Actually, no. The person with the lowest cell originium assimilation at 6% has signs of narcolepsy. Another person, oropathy is suspected to be cause of her dissociative identity disorder. And I'm going to go for one last one. His voice can noticeably cause brain damage if he's not wearing inhibitors. That's how bad oropathy can get sometimes. And again, none of these are past 20%. So it's like if percent. And granted, again, the one about the voice, yeah, he's 14%. If something like that can happen at 14%, I don't want to see what happens to someone with basically 50% of that. I don't. It's like that. Oropathy's kind of, from a rating standpoint, oropathy is fucking scary. Okay. Anyway. Physiological strength, excellent. Combat skill, normal. Tactical acumen, standard. And assimilation, standard.
Since Miss Snowshine conducts her search and rescue (SAR) operations in blighted environments, the medical division advises including relevant checks and regular health examinations to avoid unexpected issues. Operator Snowshine works for Rhodes Island. As an SAR professional, she is engaged in multiple search and rescue missions jointly carried out by Rhodes Island and Enfield Industries, resolving a range of complex issues in the process. Snowshine now serves as Enfield Industries SAR liaison. Operator Snowshine has, in multiple occasions, demonstrated her extensive experiences in conducting SAR operations in the North. She has proved the value of her survival skills and her ability to quickly respond to various contingencies. Snowshine enthusiastically recounted her successful SAR mission rescuing the Oath Keepers and Polar Caravans, highlighting her careful planning, precise execution, and strategic decisions in overcoming natural hazards. Sunshine's engineering background gives her vital technical expertise that has been key in her SAR missions. The operator is extremely passionate and dedicated to her work. Her deep experience in both engineering and SAR operations makes her a valuable asset to Enfield. 3M. After joining Enfield, it took only a few months for Miss Snowshine to give many operators a friendly and warm impression. Snowshine often helps others in her spare time, usually with simple errands and deliveries. But it may seem small, these tasks often prove to be real lifesavers, making people truly grateful to have Snowshine around. That bottle of vinegar Miss Snowshine delivered was just in time. My sweet and sour meat would have been ruined without it, reported the canteen chef. Miss Snowshine is also spared no effort in trying to popularized SAR knowledge and polar survival skills, and often gave everyone proper demonstrations. These include crucial first aid procedures as well as quick turn techniques for snowboarding. Vitalis, how did she do that? Last time I saw such a beautiful return was during the finals of Band Snowboard Championships. Excuse me. She's a guaranteed medalist if she ever attends. I'll bet my money on this anonymous operator after watching Snowshine's demonstration. Miss Siobhan from the Specialist Tech Division also has plenty of good things to say about Snowshine. Oh, this is the first time I met someone capable of using ice-making arts units with expertise. Alrighty, I hope Snowshine can test more of my ice makers to save at least 10 days off my testing base. However, canteen staff responsible for stocking the shelves would post warnings when Snowshine returns to Dijon. Extra attention must be given to prevent the dessert bar from being left with only the labels. I'm pretty sure that's her normal voice actor, but we're still just I'm just gonna do a quick double check. So I'm pretty sure it's her normal voice actor. Her in-game voice actor. But then again, yeah. Do we check for voice actor? Oh, never. Oh, no, no, it's not. Okay, it's not her voice actor. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. Or maybe it's another name. I don't know. All right.
Still waiting.
Now we can check our stuff. Level up. We can use our stuff to level us up, but honestly, we're not going to use these right now. We're not going to use these right now. Ability matrix shows the operator's battle skills, talents, and promotion progress. The combat section to upgrade the operator's combat strength, improve the combat. Use the combat section to upgrade the operator's combat skills, improve the operator's combat performance. Use the section to activate various talent nodes and improve operator performance in various areas. The elite section has a series of promotion nodes. Promote the operator or give the operator outfitting skills. Reach the required level to first promote the operator. Level up. Promote operators to level up their battle skills. Promotion also unlocks more skills and talent nodes. Alright, so our basic attack. And our skill. Our our combo trigger, and our ultimate. We need Elite 1 in order to use that. And promotion 1. We need to activate to raise it to 1. Outputting 2, which we get Elite 1. Equip blue quality gear. Promotion 2, level up increase. Purple quality gear, 80. Gold quality, and 90. So 90 is our current level. And our talent notes. Okay, so at E1 we can get agility buff. We can get an agility buff. When Originium crystals consumed to the enemy or attached to the enemy are consumed, Administrator will gain 15% attack for 15 seconds. An advancement makes the attack gain 30%. And that's what we can get at E1. We'll look at the other ones when we start eating. Okay, so that's us right now. Weapon. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Weapon level up, which we can do that. We can increase potential. Raised by spending weapons of the same name. Potential level skills and level caps. Okay. That's a little bit similar to Genshin's, in which, well, not the material usage stuff. Essence. Not sure what this is. Gear system still locked. And this thing. Oh, okay. Okay, so we do have this. Okay. Basically, this is this system. I'm gonna actually move us down. Move down because I've got blocked and stuff. I'm gonna move myself down over here for right now. Basically, we need to, well, basically this is just if you get more characters in pools, because this is a gacha. Player characters usually unlocked in shops.
Originium will carve a path for us.
Okay, tributes, so we can see these. Every operator has 4 attributes: strength, agility, intellect, and will. Tributes gives operators certain stat bonuses. Every operator has a main attribute and secondary attribute. Increasing the main attribute gives the operator a large bonus to attack, while increasing the secondary gives a smaller bonus. Operators' various stats. Yeah, already covered that. Yeah. Okay, so in our case, we our main attribute is agility. Perlica is intelligence. Shen is also agility. And Snowshine is strength.
Originium prepped and ready to go. Originium will carve a path for us.
And this is the character archetype. Guard exceeds in making enemies vulnerable and applying physical statuses. They're also good damage dealers. Caster, skilled at applying arts inflictions and art reactions. Also good damage dealer. Striker, exploit physical or arts effects inflicted by other operators to deal decisive damage. Vanguard, great at recovering skill points to help their teammates skill casting. Defenders are extremely tough. They are skilled in protecting and training their teammates, as well as counterattacking the enemy. And supporters are skilled in applying various control effects to weaken the enemy, also buff and support their teammates. Shumi. Basically, almost all these are from the main game as well. Guards are essentially defending characters. Well, actually, main damage dealers are basically main focus damage dealers.
They basically are good for blocking, not as good as defenders, but they are still a good startings. They usually have lower costs than those. They basically would be more starting off for guards. Casters, mages. They deal art damage and are best for enemies that take a lot of art damage. Have higher physical defenses. Strikers, basically ranged characters that these they can also hit flying enemies. Vanguard, basically just the default ones, just low damage. Well, DPSs essentially. Like guards are more focused damage. Vanguards are DPSs. Defenders are essentially just what are just basically guards with a little bit of a stronger bit. And supporters, healers, and that stuff. Really quick. I need to check something. Right. Yeah. So, we are guard. Perlica is a caster. Shen is also a guard. And Snowshine is a defender. We're also going to check the skills of the other characters. So, we'll stop after this. We'll stop after this once we check their skills. Ability matrix. Alright, electric attacks. Final strike also deals 15 dagger. Protocol W strike. Bolt of electromagnetic energy that deals electric damage and electric infliction to enemies from a small area. Chain combo. Controlled operator controls final strike enemy. She will unleash stored electromagnetic energy to bombard the target, dealing electric damage and forcibly inflicting temporary electrification. And her ultimate, Killer Protocol, is a masterpiece of orbital debris into the battlefield with devastating impact. All enemies in the area suffer electric damage. Shen. Attack with up to 5 sequences, deal physical damage. Damage performs an uppercut slash a target enemy, dealing physical damage and lift. Well, we remember that basically using Crush at the same time Lift gets after using Lift means that will be a good follow. Triggers vulnerable. When enemy becomes vulnerable, a slashing dash that passes through the target enemy and deals physical damage and lift the enemy away. So that's how. So we need to trigger vulnerable in order to get Chen's combo and her ultimate 7 sequence slash attack that deals physical damage with each sequence to target enemy. On a slash sequence deals even more damage. And still showing. Up to 3 sequences deal physical attack. Like I said, yeah, defenders are more slower, so they won't be hitting as much, but they will hit hard. But they're more of a guard will hit harder than defender. Raise shield that can block attacks, grant protection to self and nearby operators, and immediately returns some SP. When attacked while said shield is raised, performs a retaliation bash that deals cryo damage and applies cryo to on the attacker. Combo trigger. After controlled operator gets attacked and drops below 60% HP, she will throw a snowfield SAR assistant onto controlled operator. Upon target contact, assistant gives massive instant HP treatment to nearby operators as well as continuous HP treatment to operators in a will effect. Tribute of will increases the amount of HP treatment. And her ultimate, cryo damage to enemies in the area of effect, also generates a snow zone lasting several seconds that deals cryo damage over time to enemies.
Snowshine forcibly applies solidification to enemies in combat for a certain duration. And now we're done. Well, we still have all this stuff to look at. So we're gonna look at headhunting, which is essentially our summoning bit. New Horizons. And this is stuff. This is event stuff. Acquire New Horizons HH permit. Now we can go do a pull.
Catcher, Op Team Z7. My role is giving the team cover and logistics support. I specialize in defensive operations and I'm good with the blade. And
Catcher.
Of Op Z7 reporting for duty. I've studied Originium automation and occasionally help with modifying or repairing Originium devices.
Catcher
May
Antal.
approve.
Catcher,
Realize who's done.
Op Team Z7.
Why do I have to do this again? Greetings, Administrator. I'm Estella. And please don't give me physically intensive assignments. Thank you.
Antov of Op Z7 reporting.
Catcher, Op Team Z7. Catcher, Op Team Z.
Captain Akakuri of Operation Team Z7 reporting in. The operations dossier, budget summary, and
New
plan
element,
are ready
heat.
for review. Which would you like?
And we also have a Vanguard finally.
Antov of Op Z7 reporting.
And our 5-star.
Edmund,
Oh, we got a second Shen.
process. Here goes.
Then we got our second Shen. Alright. We also have this. Yeah. This, and we also have this one, which we do have at least 20 of. Well, yeah, we'll use the 20 for these. We'll just skip ahead and just do
C7 skirmisher.
because these should do it. Right?
Got anything to say?
Nature element, interesting.
How about we just call it a day?
5-star.
Well, we meet again, Admin. Got an engineering problem? Put it out. Consider it fixed, and I will be even happier if there's canteen work for me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that just skips off doubles. Results acquired. And we'll do a second one. We'll be going on our break soon.
Catcher, Op Team Z.
5-star.
Capello Wolfgang Filipino, Enfield Crisis Team. I represent the pack. Give me any merc job, and as long as our contract stands, I'll be your closing facts.
So we now have furry Clyde Rosefield from Final Fantasy 16. Ooh, 2.
I am Ether. Call sign is Arclight. I am not a trained weaver of words, but I wish you well, and may you flow like a rising river, Enfielders.
Oh, damn, 3. Damn, 3. Okay, that's all the pulls we can do. Bench, we're going to look at the rest of these. Login. Get a certified thing, and a advanced combat record. Horizons giveaway expo. Okay. Firewalker sign. Take that so we get a Firewalker's trial HH permit. Ah, okay. Combat drills.
Ah, okay, character testing. Character testing. Okay. More activities. Yeah. Protocol pass. Battle pass. Use, of course. This is okay, so it does weapons, just like what Genshin does. I nearly had a fucking heart attack, so I thought this top one was the fucking main one. It's like $30. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, but yeah. Yeah, this is the essentially the this yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this, yeah. Okay. So this is essentially the default unlocking thing. Yeah, basically, basic supply is the starting one where you get a little bit of rewards. Originium supply is going to be basically just level 2, and protocol customized, which is the 10 which is the $10 thing. That is essentially that's essentially just a pay thing. On it, yeah. Okay. I don't like this type of tactic, but I don't mind that these are $10. Like, I remember I got pissy when for the Blue Archive one. Yeah. That's because it was expensive. $10 is, it's not good, but honestly, I would be paying $10 for an upgrade thing for these than I would for that. I also would state I am also a hypocrite because I also do that for Genshin, Star Rail, and Zenless. I am a fucking hypocrite, but again, I don't mind this. So if I do end up playing this, I might be getting you might be seeing me getting rewards for these too, but I'm not fully confirming. And now we have okay. We're not gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go on our break soon. I'm not gonna go over every new character's profile thing, mostly because I've already the reason why I did the 3 of us plus Snowfield is we didn't have a whole lot of things. I'm not going to be reading unless if people really would like me to, I'll do it. But I don't know. Maybe might just do it for the 5 stars. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah. Potential screen. We got an upgrade for Chen. And basically recruiting the same operator again multiple times gives you potential tokens. Reaching an operator's a potential 1, 3, and 5, and also unlocks the operator snapshot. Snapshots can be displayed aboard Zhang. Some can be displayed in the profile panel. Snapshots can be locked to profile screen or to Zhang. Playing through more ways to showcase snapshots. Okay, so our first one, Shadowless. Damage dealt increases by 20% to enemies below half HP. That is actually very cool thing. And we got our picture from Chen. The Long Inner Blade have embarked on a great adventure. And sadly, we don't have an extra one. Don't have an extra. Yeah, but we do have one from Wolfguard. Lone Wolf. Strength and agility both increased by 15. Damn, that's nice. I am for the hunt. The best hunters of the wildlands will always appear at the best opportunity. We don't have any for Japan.
We do have some for some of the some of the other characters. Fluorite, 10 Finger Smith, agility and intellect plus 10. That gives us her picture. Got a small problem. Don't let Fluorite know what you're thinking about. Oh, I think it's too late for that already. We also could get her level 2, mind reading. Her talent, unpredictable, is improved. Chance to ignore arts damage plus 10%. We got a few for Antal. So first one is ultimate overclock moment improved. Electric and heat amp effects increased 1.1 times the original. Also, next it says picture. True calling. That's actually kind of a badass picture. Out of everything in this world, he would gladly spend his entire life to pursue the highest secrets of the Originium art. Rank 2, overclock moment energy cost decreased by 10%. That's actually not bad. Rank 3, applied Originium theory. When an enemy with active focus is debuff is defeated, return 15 skill points. Also gives us his second image. Very deep focus. Don't disturb him. He's carrying out his 115th test run of using Originium Arts to compress fire into ashes. Randy's reminder. Intellect plus 10. HP plus 10%. And his last one, High Specs Tech Taster. Applying focus on the same target for 20 seconds increases heat and electric suspectability effects by 4%. And we maxed them out. We unlock New Zenith. He learns, he gains enlightenment. He is on an endless path towards the only answer. Sadly, if you get any others, they don't really go to much. I also will state this. I've kind of, this is actually the first time I've actually maxed out a character on a game of these. Not the player character. What else do we have? Yeah. Stella upgrades. We can take habitual delay. Combo skin distortion improved. Physical suspectability duration increased by 3 seconds. We also get our picture. Intermittent thinker. You tried to free up some time to ponder when that drop of water was. And 2, lowered expectations. Ultimate tremolo improved. Ultimate energy cost minus 10%. Catcher, we can upgrade him fully. Don't worry, when we're done doing all this checking, we'll go on break. We'll go on break soon. Sorry for how long this is. Multi-layered readiness. Battle skill, rigid interdiction, and ultimate textbook assault improved. After hitting the enemy, deals another strike that deals 300 plus defense times 5.0 of physical damage. Also, this is his first image. The deep blue figure is always there with shield in hand, no matter the time. Rank 2. Defense and defense plus 20, will plus 10. Unwavering post. Timely combo skill, timely suppression improved. Shield duration plus 5 seconds. That gives us his second image, prep for battle. Before the start of every mission, he would prep a dozen or so contingent plans for every subsequent situation. Rank 4. Textbook assault improved, ultimate energy cost minus 10%. And his last one, choice without regrets. Health shield rigid interdiction improved. Hitting an enemy while the shield is active returns 10 skill points. And that gives us his last image. Shield to fall back on. Not gonna lie, Catcher kind of reminds me of Himmel from Frieren. Reassuring sense of security and gastronomic satisfaction. This team's never shown on these. We have Akikuri. Positive. Oh, oops. Got to fully read that. Positive feedback. After recovering SP with skills, she gains 10% attack for 10 seconds. Can affect 5 stacks. Ooh, 50% attack buff. Reporting in. Dreams, hopes, and roaring passion. Heralded by her smile. Reporting in. Passionate ideals. Agility plus 10, intellect plus 10. And that's all we have. And oh, protocol patch. We finished the mission. Okay, that's weird. That's weird. Genshin. None of Hoyoverse has that. None of Hoyoverse has that. That's really weird. But yeah. We are going to go on a break now. During the break, I'll probably decide if we're going to play more of this or if we're going to go to Brothership. So, be right back. And we are back. And we're sticking with Arclight, Arknight for today. So that means we will be doing a full week of Brothership next week. Now, something else I wanted to do is something I also was thinking. Remember for One Piece when I was saying I was wanting to do a reading thing for the profile thing for characters? It is also why I haven't unmuted the game yet. I'm going to do that for Arknights. I'm going to do a separate video for basically reading all the the profiles for all the characters. So we're going to start with that for here. But if you're watching the VOD version of this, that's straight skipping. The session... This will be basically just one complete video. Basically, the first one being the readings for basically us, Perlica, Chen, and Snowblind. Well, Aurora. The Aurora, and then right now, and then we're going to be moving on to basically the all the characters we got from those polls. So if you're watching the VOD version of this, I will see you guys when we're done, which is going to be cut. But if you want to see the me reading the bio stuff, that'll be basically the last video going up period. Basically just session readings. So yeah. So let's get started. Alright, so Arclight. I also we're gonna look at character abilities basically on also on these videos too. So on these videos too. Alright, so we're gonna start with Arclight's ability matrix just to read up her stuff. Attack up to 5 sequences deals physical damage. Controlled operator final strike also deals 16. Skill instantly blinks to the enemy's side to deal 2 slashes, deals some physical damage. If the enemy has active electrification, consume it to deal additional attack that deals electric damage and recovers SP. So she actually needs electrification characters. Okay, interesting. Peal of Thunder.
When an enemy suffers electrocution, or after an enemy's electrification is consumed, blinks to the enemy's side to unleash furious slashes. And her ultimate performs a short forward dash while wreathed in arcs of electricity to deal electric damage and apply electric infliction to all enemies in path. Lingering arcs explode after a short while, dealing another hit of electric damage. If the enemy has electric infliction, consume it to forcibly apply electrification. Ooh, nice. Okay. Come on. Sorry about that. All right, so faction. Hanabit Circuit. Race Huranta. Huranta. Basically, they are basically horses, donkeys, and zebras. Actually, let me jump to the other wiki just because, just so I get the right word. Yeah, basically the term might refer to singular present active principal form of the Esperanto word for to run, kuri, which is likely reference to them being fast runners. And honestly, looking at a lot of her, looking at her moves, kind of makes sense. Expertise 1, tool assembly, minimalist crafting. An assembly of simple items might create a tool capable with helping people thrive, such as the wisdom of the wildland. Natural lore, Eldertone. The cruelty of light taught Arclight the lessons of survival. She hopes to teach others these lessons. Hopefully not in the cruel way. Hobbies 1, nature. Wildlands explorer. Nature is filled with danger, but whenever she pauses to look around, magnificence is all that she felt. Excuse me. Sports, Night Runner. Wildlands is the best place to exercise. It is there where she could run to her heart's content. Her date of birth, January 3rd. Oropathy positive. So she is infected with oropathy. Oropathy. Physiological strength excellent. Combat skill standard. Tactical accumulating normal. Originium arts assimilation excellent. Arclight is a song seeker from the Hanabit Circuit, and she has joined Enfield Industries as a field operator with recommendations from Aldertone Orsha. Arclight also provides support for various Enfield operations as well as maintenance and repairs for Enfield machinery and vehicles. To Arclight, the motorcycle is more than just a transport vehicle. She regards them as a companion that grows with her. Every dismantling modification achieved more than just simple repairs. They brought transformation and new life. Perhaps need to protect both machinery and life gave Arclight her excellent understanding of mechanical engineering and aesthetics. Also, since Arclight hails from the Hanabit Circuit, she's more eager to share everything she knows with those in need. Although the phrases and words she uses are full metaphors, they also reflect her unique and in-depth knowledge of the wildland. Ikut is the actual, at least that's what I'm pronouncing it as. Ikut, I don't fully know, is the actual name for operator Arclight. Whenever people ask if she came from the Hanabit Circuit, Arclight always answered with this line: "I follow
Alder. I follow Aldertone Orsha, and every song seeker is their own master. Operator Arclight has an indescribable passion about motorcycles. Arsenal Engineer Semyon. I'm hoping that's Semyon. I'm also hoping that's a monkey. That's because of that name. Often conversed with Arclight regarding her motorcycle, and these are what he had to say. Initially, I thought it was a custom military vehicle that found its way into the civilian market. I could hardly believe what I saw when it turned out to be a work of engineering that Arclight assembled and tuned on her own. I studied the motorcycle closely after acquiring her permission. Its original engine was a 10-year-old piece of obsolete tech from Mizco Industries. The drivetrain was produced by Triglava Armory. Labels on the suspensions were worn out, but I guessed, based on the structures, they were from North March Support Hut. The most impressive component would be the chassis. The entire thing was handcrafted and every weld made to the greatest detail. The entire framework felt almost seamless. Even more extraordinary was the fact that the motorcycle wasn't just an assembly, but as an integration that exemplified the strengths of every component's manufacturer. This could only have been achieved with the highest level of technical expertise. The entire vehicle was a near perfect balance of power, endurance, and handling. Although everyone approves of Operator Arclight's superb technical abilities, many have also pointed out this observation. He treated people rather coldly and spoke in a manner that was rather difficult to understand. Even Operator Semyon reflected that Arclight rarely spoke. Perhaps Arclight's unique experiences made her appear lukewarm, and her first impressions often gave off the vibe of an unfriendly individual. However, people who got to know her better would learn that she has an incredibly reasonable person. Those who often converse with Arclight have even heard her saying shocking things that resemble jokes. Needless to say, Operator Arclight was simply speaking her mind and wasn't trying to be funny and insistent. Comments about Arclight being difficult to converse with typically arise as their language is heavily influenced by the Hanabit circuit's unique form of expressions. Arclight has a tendency to use metaphors inspired by the natural world, such as using bird and beast temper to describe mechanical breakdowns, or the morning mist to illustrate an individual's hesitation. People who are more forthright in their manners or speech may be thrown off by Arclight's unique linguistic choices. However, good listeners would appreciate her clear reasoning, steadfast consistency in her actions. Song seekers of the Hanabit circuit have their own unique understanding of the world and modus operandi. If one wishes to understand Arclight better, one would do well to appreciate her way of describing this world. Not gonna lie, I kind of like her. Oh, okay. Oh, we have talents. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, no. Her main stat is agility. Wolf God. Attack up to 4 sequences deals heat damage. As you control, 18 strike. Battle skill. Fires multiple shots and target deals some heat damage. Final shot also applies heat infliction. If target has active combustion or electrification, do not apply heat infliction, but instead consume the arch reaction to fight. Then consume the reaction to fire additional shot that deals massive heat damage. That's actually kind of cool. That's kind of cool. When the arch affliction is applied to an enemy, there's a frag grenade at the target's location, explodes upon hitting the ground, dealing heat damage and infliction to nearby enemies. In its ultimate, fire a rapid barrage of shots unleashes the Woven Fury to attack nearby enemies, dealing 5 hits of heat damage, forcibly applying combustion. Faction Enfield. Race Lupo. Do I really need to explain what Lupo is? I don't think so. Combat technique solo. Wolfgarad is always skilled at soloing, getting things done, and prefers various responsibilities on his own. Infiltrator stealth. Hiding one's trail is a skill paramount for surviving the wildlands. Wolfgod happens to be quite gifted in this. Wilderness Scout. The Wildlands is his hunting grounds. That feels grammatically wrong. But I'm also not 100% good with grammar myself. Yeah. A qualified hunter is more than happy to be attuned to changes in the environment, be it ambient humidity, shifts in the wind, or cascading sounds of the flowing creek. Weapon modding. Modifying etched ammo might be a boring job, but he enjoys finding people to test them on. Authentication in the pack, date of birth November 16th, or pathy positive. Physiological strength, excellent. Combat skill, excellent. Tactical acumen, standard. And originating art simulation, standard. The Landbreaker's way of life has left its mark on Wolfgod. Each scar stands as evidence of his past trials. Though the pain doesn't seem to weigh on him now, that may not always be the case. He must learn to approach missions with greater regard for his own life, or at the very least, to place more trust in his teammates, rather than charging in alone every time. Operator Wolfgod, full name Catello Wolfgod Lupino, hails from a Landbreaker clan known as the Pack. As their appointed representative, he established a partnership with Enfield Industry. Recommended by Supervisor Perlica, he joined the Specialist Tech Division and now serves on the Crisis Team. Wolfgod possesses exceptional observational skills and adaptability. As far as I know, he can handle most high-risk environments with ease. He clearly prefers to operate alone and excels in covert operations. However, he seems reluctant to engage in interpersonal matters, so for missions requiring teamwork, it's recommended that he be given as much autonomy as possible. Notably, test result reports show that Wolfgod performs extremely well in both physical endurance and reaction speed. He is proficient with guns, adept at hand-to-hand combat, and has an knack for turning any object, even a pen, into a weapon. Oh god. Perhaps his time in the Wildlands has sharpened his instincts. Wolfgod has an acute sense for danger and deep understanding of how to interact with frontier residents, especially when Landbreaker affairs are involved. I believe anyone who's ever partnered with him would agree. When Wolfgod first appeared in Enfield, his Landbreaker background raised a few eyebrows. Some operators suspected he had hidden motives, but as the years passed, they discovered that behind the cold exterior and sharp tongue was someone surprisingly easy to get along with. He's always punctual, efficient, responsible, and thorough with cleanup. In many ways, he checks every box of the ideal teammate. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to enjoy working with others. Whenever he is required to submit a report, he always requests to be assigned to solo operations instead. On the other hand, Wolfgod has never been shy about sharing his insights into weapon modifications, which has caused headaches for Enfield's arsenal engineer. Many operators first met Wolfgod during one of the regular new weapon testing sessions, where they watched him coolly tweak weapon right in front of the designer, then say, "Works better this way." This often left engineers and first losing their composure. Though this did earn him a spot on the Arsenal team's unwelcome list, Wolfgod didn't care. He kept modifying every new weapon he got until it felt right to him. Experienced hunters always select their best hunting tools or modify them until they become the best. He's a strength focused. Japan. I think my favorite part of his animation is just putting on the sunglasses with fucking chopsticks. That's fucking cool. Physical damage, 20 stagger. Takes out a walk, quickly charges up, and performs a powerful walk flip that deals physical damage and lift to the enemy. Enemy reaches 4 stacks of vulnerability. Wings to walk at the enemy deal massive physical damage and crush. This crush also deals more damage. His ultimate, The pan slams the chopping board to forcibly lift all enemies in front of it of the effective in the area effect in front of it. This is followed by a sequence flurry of slashes deal physical damage that deals physical damage. Bonus steps to bash every enemy to the ground to forcibly knock down and deal massive physical damage to them. I wish we could look at these. You know, I wish we could look at these. You know? Like, I kind of want to see some of these in action. Action, Hongshan Academy of Sciences. Cooking, heat control. Skilleting, steaming for deep frying, stir frying, and stewing. Master the stove and you master the 100 arts of cooking. The pan will not hesitate to use a secret ho-ho, art of stove fire, to perfectly balance the variety of flavors in his dishes. Mechanical engineering. When Haas professors bring along their teapots to discuss academic topics with the pan, the Tianxi disciples realize that the chef is also carrying a flash that slogan reads, Vanguard Scientist. Gourmet Chef. The pan enjoys creating new dishes, but getting heartfelt delicious from his patrons will make him even happier. Worldly Roamer. Traveling vendor, chauffeur, tour guide, renovator, and a master who keeps everyone fed. The pan hates downtime. Makes me itch for some action. Not gonna lie, I kinda like chef pandas. I like that. Like it's kind of a cool thing. Like not a lot of people would use pandas as a chef, but honestly, it's grown on me. Date of birth May 19th, Orpathy negative. Physiological strength excellent, combat skill standard, tactical acumen normal, and Originium arts simulation excellent. Operator Da Pan, ID name Pan Yuan, is a member of the Hongshan Academy of Science. He claims to be a very well-traveled chef and trader. He has joined the Specialist Tech Division as independent with recommendations from Operator Chen, and letter of authentication from Haas. We also respect his personal wishes and granted him partial authority levels for canteen access. Japan provided an incredibly chaotic CV. His verifiable work experiences include owner of Hot Pot Eatery, La Meda, literal translation, spicely huge. Tianxi at Haas, electrician, carpenter, machinist, background in Heiquan Zalin, literal translation, this the combined will revisited. Two of his past experiences cannot be verified. The first was a brief stint driving taxis at Simonch. He failed to find any commercial driving license or records for Japan in that city. When pointing out this finding, the Ursus's maw cracked to 70-degree smile, and he applied a rather powerful slap on my mechanical chassis. The second would be friendly assists. Japan claims he part-timed as an ornamental burden beast standing for 3 days at La Fantoma. By the time I realized I had been misled into engrossing dialogue about unlicensed hacking drama and ornamental burden beasts, we'd already been talking for 4 hours. I neglected to ask Japan about his experience and what he should remember best. This time it's Tianxi at Haas. While verifying his experiences at Haas, Japan has become visibly downcast in his, but he quickly resumed his smile and deflected topic with a casual joke. Then he showed me a friendly group photo of him and other ornamental burden beasts. I could obviously tell he was trying to avoid talking about a disagreeable past with Tianxi, but it's not a negative consideration for Enfield. Since Japan has been affected by Science Station incident, proves that he remains deep inside and has tight Tianxi who upholds a strong sense of principles, responsibilities, and duty. Uncle Pan, the ever change. At least I'm guessing that's what the joke's supposed to be. Uncle Pan, the ever change, lives in Wuling and he's like the most warmest person I've ever seen. He's black and white, and his eyes look like grapes. His ears look like golden yuan bao, and he looks very cool with sunglasses. Uncle Pan can transform. He's got all sorts of clothes like a big white chef apron or overalls. Sometimes he also wears the yellow plastic hat. Uncle Pan also has a hot pot shop and told us that we could have meals at his place if we miss home, and if we got tired of hot pot, we could make other delicious stuff like mantel buns, flashy fried kidneys, or sweet sour fins. The best food made by Uncle Pan is the vinegar, bok choy, and refried meat, and he wants to make them chef special. I'm confused if this is supposed to be the writing for the person for this character, or not Pan himself. Basically, the person who's writing this, because I don't know. I feel a little weird reading some stuff though. But sometimes Uncle Pan plays pranks on us. He puts spicy salads in my lunchbox, but tells me it's magic jam, so I share the magic jam with my friends, and everyone gets so jaded. If I missay a word, I'm very sorry. Uncle Pan takes care of the kids, and he also helps other people. He fixes power meters, do plumbing and pipes, chop bamboos. Because Uncle Pan is so helpful to everyone also wants to help Uncle Pan. But Uncle Pan is really powerful, and there's nothing we can help him with, so we give him delicious fruits and sweets, and landlord lowered his hot pot shop rent. People will say that Uncle Pan is homeless because his home exploded. Says spend money to live in a friend's home. One day I asked Uncle Pan why he made no money after working for many years. He told me I spent all the money on food, but later I learned that he spent all the money on the kids. Again. His passion and friendliness are infectious. People often start spilling their beans and sharing their stories within minutes after meeting him. But the reverse does not apply. Operator Da Pan rarely talks about his own story. Nevertheless, many still regard him as friendly has Tianxi who really knows how to cook. A powerful, painful past may be burned to bear. Being a listener with few words makes him a decent friend. However, being secretive and keeping to oneself are rarely good things. My other concern is that after Da Pang arrived in Danjiang, many of our operators and our administrator as well began putting on significant weight. He's strength focused. We already did Showshine. Fluorite. The floor attacks with nature damage. Final strike deals 15 stagger. Kicks an improvised explosive that sticks at target, applying slow and exploding after a short duration. The explosion deals nature damage and nature infliction to enemies in the area effect. To me. Defeating the target also sets off the improvised explosive immediately. Only one explosive can be utilized at a time. Combo trigger. When the enemy has 2 or more stacks of cryo infliction or nature infliction. Use the target enemy to trigger a special explosion that deals nature damage and applies another arts infliction of the element already on the enemy. And her ultimate, she quickly moves in an arc and rapidly fires a target within the arc to deal 4 sequences of nature damage. If an improvised explosive has been stuck to the target, the skill detonates it immediately and increases the damage and size of the explosion. If the final damage sequence hits the target with at least 2 stacks of cryo or nature infliction, apply the same arc infliction again. Faction Enfield Industries, and she's a Phidia. That is, I'm pretty sure that's. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Basically, serpents. They are named after the Oracle of Delphi, whose name derives from the Python Greek mythology. Alternative name refers to the Ophidia clade where snakes belong to. Self-sufficiency. A natural in both stringency and generosity, she felt both in the frontiers. Highway talk. Florite knows who's trustworthy, who's up to no good, and whose stupidity is rendered them incapable of reasoning. Wildlands Rover. Everyone else in Op Team Z7 agrees that Florite is more amiable when talking about life in the wild. Gift crafting. Florite's silence often heralds an impending prank. Unfortunately, Florite is often silent. Her date of birth is June 12th, and she is infected. Physiological strength standard, combat skill excellent, tactical standard, Originium arts normal. We'd like to remind Ms. Florite to regard her regular physical examinations as an official requirement in tennis session. If she finds yet another excuse for her absence, we shall escalate the situation to Ms. Akekuri. Operator Florite once encouraged local civilians to violently resist a criminal organization and helped the Enfield field operations team escape certain threats. Operator Akekuri thus endorsed Florite's employment with Enfield Industries. She's now a member of Operations Team Z7. No new criminal records have been filed against the operator since then. Pay particular attention to Florite in social settings. Her personal grudges are usually not as significant as we make them, but conversations with her may take unexpected turns. Fortunately, Florite is not averse to being enlisted. As we place greater importance on an operator's combat capabilities, her peculiarity is not particularly difficult to handle. However, she seized the initiative and answered every question on the list before I formally delivered it to her. In fact, she even started laughing before I could complete my engaging answers. This situation was not predicted by my algorithms. Hence, this interview has been added to Archive's unique case studies for further analysis. According to Florite herself, Originium arts solely focused on the creation of polymorphic fluids with adhesive abilities. However, if this were true, which I personally feel to be not, then her malignant social skills can only be explained by her extensive experiences, since she has expert level abilities in identifying damaging information about others. Florite's willingness to reveal such information without hesitation is another thing entirely. Even though arts assimilation tests are rarely publicly accessible, there are those who stubbornly believe that Florite has secret divination abilities. Think about it. You almost flaunt your PE and the instructor gives you an earful. When heading back to the dorms, you see Florite along the corridor. She suddenly goes, I guess it can't be helped. Midnight sandwiches are just so divine. She's so freaking annoying. Fine, I know she was snacking tonight, but why did you have to say it out loud? One Operations Team Z7 member once voiced their frustrations, but instead of receiving comfort, they were met with a chorus of knowing looks that silently said, I feel you. In all fairness, Florite does not intend to stir up trouble and she hardly speaks out during dialogues. However, her carefree nature combined with her excessively unforgiving tone proved to be rather discomforting to most people during many situations. When these issues were brought before Florite, her answer was simple and sincere. Want me to go and apologize? I like her. I like Florite. Not gonna lie, I like Florite. I like her outfit. I like her skills. She's also agility focused. Antal. Electric damage. Monostrike also deals 15 stagger. Applies focus with a long duration on the enemy and deals electric damage. An enemy with active focus also suffers electric and heat susceptibilities. Focus can only be given to one enemy at a time. Combo trigger. When an enemy suffers from active focus, it suffers physical status or arts affliction. What do those mean? Okay, physical status is lifted, knocked down, crushed, and breached. Arts is any of the 4 inflictions. All right. Triggers enemy energy explosion that deals electric damage. Applies another stack of the same physical status or arts infliction. Ultimate applies temporary
electric, and heat amp to the entire team. Yeah, basically. So he's good with doing within heat or electric teams. That's cool. Is Savara, which that is lizards. Name derives from the Greek word for lizards, Savara. I probably said that wrong, but yeah. Device kit bashing. Show Intel a device for the first time, and they'll quickly come up with a dozen plans to dismantle and modify it. Puzzle solving. Hardly any riddles can beat Intel, but riddles and puzzles on newspaper are another thing. Game plan list. Intel never cared about winning or losing, but it always ends up winning. Humor sensitivity training. Intel believes that constant practice will make him the master guru of language. His date of birth is April 10th, oropathy negative. Physical examination, normal, standard, normal, and outstanding. Operator Intal is a member of Operations Team Z7. He was previously involved in Enfield Industries' Originium machine automation research project. Intel later transferred to Specialist Tech Division following Operator Akikori's special recommendations. Intel never hides his thoughts. When I asked him about his academic background as part of my routine inquiry process, he provided a comprehensive list of courses he took in every semester as well as academic achievements. Nevertheless, this proves that Intal is passionate about his field of expertise and solemnly responds to various questions. As I was preparing to conclude the interview, which Intal had extended to nearly 3 hours, he curiously asked me if I did have a humor appreciation system. He also offered a test system for me. I did not mind. Intel is not as cold or unsociable as he appears. Everyone who actually talked to him would agree with his statement. No one expected a stern-faced dude obsessed with Originium technology and sciences to be really passionate about lame jokes. Why would this techie tell jokes so bad that one would feel the need to devote all their brains to logical reasoning to fathom? Is he doing this to boost his sense of humor? You look at the expression on his face and realize that he's doing his best to make you laugh. Excuse me. When you look at it as his expressionless face and realize that he's doing his best to make you laugh, you might also find it difficult to determine why you end up laughing anyway. Is it because of his lame jokes, or the stark contrast presented by his physical form? Akikori, Intel's team captain, has maintained extreme optimism about this quirk. At least he's sincere. There are times when he fails to read the context. For example, he made his sudden urge to show off his sense of humor and face hostility. Unfortunately, the enemies often think otherwise. To Intal, being someone interesting may have become a lifelong pursuit, and he treats everyone as instructors capable of reviewing his performance. It doesn't matter if they are fellow teammates of Team Z7 or fellow Enfield 2 once, Intal would humbly seek advice from anyone deemed capable of steering these valuable recommendations. Recently, Intal placed his antics on hold. Particular individual stepped up to the game and volunteered to offer constant feedback. Hold on. It's voluntary, right? I don't know if there are other people capable of laughing even before Intal finishes bad jokes. Yes, we're talking about an administrator who would, with the greatest patience, hang out with Intal and listen to everything he has to say, ranging from eureka moments from inventive ideas to hour-long science lectures that he suddenly initiates when he finds the opportunity to do so. In a particular memorable moment, Intal tried to persuade the Edmund to take off the mask. His excuse was to apply certain mons like a pair of beam-firing eyes. Of course, Akikori happened to be nearby, and she fiercely reprimanded Intal's action. The operator was forced to write a 6,000-word self-examination essay and read aloud before the Edmund on the following day. Of course, this punishment was hardly effective to Intal. It will take a few days before his creative mind starts formulating other interesting ideas. Alright, how many... he's an intellect character. How many more do we have? Okay, cool. Okay, because I was gonna say it's like if we had more than 4, I probably would have stopped with Antal so we could get back to gameplay. Well, yeah, no, we'll finish this up. Estella. Visual damage, 17 stagger. Onomatopoeia. Okay. Lance starts to fire a stream of freezing sound waves that deals cryo damage. Apply cryo infliction to all enemies along its straight path. Combos trigger. When enemies suffer solidification. Enemy with solidification cannot move, and applying vulnerability or physical status to enemies triggers shatter. Okay. So in order to trigger it, we need cryo and any of the other elements, even fire. That's funny that fire will trigger it too. Quickly moves to the enemy's side to deal physical damage and forcibly lift them in a small area. If the skill hits target with solidification, deals additional damage and applies physical susceptibility. Tremolo. Estella spends all her strength to unleash a powerful slam of the spear staff, dealing physical damage to all enemies in a particular area around her. Enemies with physical susceptibility, skill forcibly applies lift. Enfield Industries, Beeline. Really? Battlefield Tactics, use hour. Shh. Here, weak heartbeat. Mine. Environmental camo. High state infiltration is forgetting you're the infiltrator. That concerns me. Fine arts, high decibel appreciator. I'll agree to call this an art form if you agree to half the decibels. Mind honing, brainstorm. Once in the Stella thought brain work is easier than muscle work. Oropathy, date of birth April 9th. Oropathy negative. Normal, standard, excellent, and standard. Given the results of Miss Stella's latest physical examinations, we recommend racing intensity or endurance training to improve her muscular stamina. The results of the next PE fall below average. A probationary training regimen shall be administered and monitored by Captain of Operations Team Z7. Operator Stella, ID name Estella Kerr, has official operational records with the TGCC and the UWST. She's demonstrated remarkable talents in scouting and intel gathering operations. Following Operator Akakuri's applications, Estella is now a member of Operations Team C7. Estella's work experiences are rather extensive. I wanted to learn more about her past, but she remained exceptionally quiet during the signing process and exhibited zero intensive communication apart from answering the questions I asked. And even amongst these limited things we talked about, I found most of her answers to be rather difficult to interpret. Fortunately, no issues of principle have been identified. However, given the positive reputation of our superior officer, Ms. Akakuri, in the letter's guarantee, we shall overlook potential risks in personal management, and that may result from Stella's lack of communication abilities. We hereby approve of Stella's employment. No of Z7 teammates except for Stella had positive memories regarding the anniversary of the founding of Operations Team Z7. However, everyone agrees that was an unforgettable occasion. At first, Akakuri found the team had no field assignments on the day of the anniversary, but suggested celebrating the occasion. Everyone responded positively. Discussion on the means of celebration began. However, since the team was camped in wildlands far from the civilization band, every suggestion involved some sort of activity. Estella, unwilling to engage physical exertion, naturally voted against every single proposal. In the end, Riverside Picnic was the only option that received a unanimous vote. It was not the favorite option for everyone, but at least nobody voted against it.
On the day of the anniversary, everyone is eagerly gathering herbs and hunting game. Estella, however, returned with an armful of colorful mushrooms. Oh, Jesus Christ. Her teammates firmly rejected her suggestion and tossed those wild fungi into the cooking pot. In the end, the team conceded. Under Captain Akakuri's watchful eyes, several unassuming mushrooms were allowed to be part of the stew. Jesus fucking Christ. As the sun set, the team built a campfire by the river to enjoy what they had gathered throughout the day. Fortunately, the unassuming mushrooms turned out to be mildly toxic. Unfortunately, they were incredibly spicy. The team emptied their water canteens to douse the heat, but were to no avail. Desperate, they rushed to the riverbank to watch the spice taste away with river water. That's when they heard a low rumble coming from upstream. The dam had begun a reservoir drawdown. Curses! I forgot about the UWST reservoir drawdown notice. That's why there's no field operations today. No one exactly remembered how they ended up swept away by the floodwaters. But when they came to, they found Estella skillfully serving the rushing water in the team's cooking pot. The starting is set when the four Op Z7 teammates pulled each other to shore. They had no choice but to head downstream to look for Estella. Finally, the team found Estella sound asleep at a nomad campfire in the wee hours in the morning. Nomads treated Akakuri and her team to proper wildlands feast. The nomads were extremely accommodating, and the entire team decided to rest there for the night. Just as Akakuri was about to fall asleep beneath the star ceiling, she suddenly remembered his Z7 field assignment in a few hours' time. Estella could not be awakened, so the four Z7 teammates took turns carrying her. They successfully reached the infield camp by daybreak. According to Estella's memories, she was completely unconscious as she probably ate the other fungi she picked. She treated the floodwaters as a packed and riotous mosh pit and fantasized herself as a rock star performing a stage dive and surfing the crowd while she growled and screamed her songs. Nobody knew what Estella said. I think I really remembered how she carried Estella and chose back to camp. The young girl on her back did mumble a few things while she slept. Things about home. God damn it. She is a will-focused character. Catcher. Physical damage. Final strike deals 22 stagger. Raises a shield that can block attacks, grants protection to itself and nearby operators, and immediately returns some SP. When attacked while the set shield is raised, performs a retaliation bash that deals physical damage and applies 1 stack of vulnerability to the attacking team. Combo trigger. When an enemy starts charging up a skill or when a controlled operator is attacked and falls below 40 HP. Powerful downward punch that deals physical damage to the enemy while granting shields to self and other teammate controlled operator prioritized. Defense can further increase shield points. And his ultimate. Excuse me. Textbook Assault. Swings the greatsword to perform 2 consecutive slashes, deal physical damage, and apply weaken. Followed by a powerful slam that deals physical damage and applies knockdown to all enemies within the area of effect. Faction Enfield Industries, and he is a Pero. Which that is... Okay, yeah. Dogs. Wait, okay. I forgot there are 2 of these. Yeah. Basically, in case you were going... So you might be going, oh, hey, but what about Lupo? Shouldn't that be dogs? Lupo is more wolves. I don't understand why the heck they have those separated. That's really dumb. Basically, the term is the Spanish word for dog. Which is kind of funny because some of them are actually kind of do talk in that some of them do talk with accents. There. Tool assembly, weapon maintenance. Every weapon wielded by a catcher always strives well beyond their average field life expectancy. Battlefield cuisine. He only makes 3 things: roast fowl, potato roast, and field soup. Nobody ever gets tired of it. If a food's good, good. You don't really need to have that's fun. That's basically good. Meticulous home economist. Having witnessed his fellow meticulous dedication to cooking, cleaning, and home appliance repairs, a fellow Enfielder awarded a catcher with this title: Omni Butler. Sports. Perpetual training routine. The first PT exercise here in camp was 30 squats per day. Kept at it for 1,946 days. Jesus Christ. His birthday of birth is August 16th, and he's orthopathy positive. Standard. Given an operator catcher's medical history, his test results actually stand us. We can hardly imagine how he managed to raise his physiological strength to his current levels despite his health disadvantages. Having reviewed numerous concerns, the medical division shall closely monitor operator catcher's regular health examinations in the future.
I'm sorry for how long this takes. I didn't think it was going to be this long. We will be doing the next mission this stream, though. We will be doing the next mission this stream.
Operator Catcher, ID name Buell von Katcher, was born in a military family in the Civilization Band. Following Operator Akikori's application, Catcher is now a member of Operations Team 7.
So we so I think we have all members of Z7.
Existing operational feedback reports indicate that Mr. Catcher is the most reliable operator of Z7. He's never been absent from duty, always hands in his reports on time, does not engage with habits of vice, an exceptional team player. However, we have noticed that Mr. Catcher's tendency to place extremely severe demands on himself, which may be a result of his childhood influences. Simply put, he often forces himself to take on operational duties and goals that were not originally assigned to him. When assigning tasks to Mr. Catcher, we would advise referencing, where possible, the recommendations from Op Team Z7 Captain Akikori. Catcher is, without a doubt, the most trusted member of Op Z7. Though he seemed more comfortable hanging back in silence and appeared disinterested in chat around him, Catcher would immediately provide a fitting response whenever he was mentioned in conversation. We have reason to believe that he heard everything from start to finish. That's right, you can't pick bones our Omni Butler. Sometimes I respect he writes a review report after every operation. And even reads the ones he wrote earlier. Why? Because I don't think any ordinary person could remember that they forgot to bring flashlight to operations. I know I couldn't. Alright. Catcher is so straightforward and somewhat straightforward that it felt kind of unreal. He's got control over his face, just as good as Antal. His expressions hardly change. Yeah, except for the time I actually threw some cream cake onto his greatsword. It was cream cake I left him lying around for a week. I saw Catcher frowning at me for the first time. He's incredibly restrained and controlled, Estella.
I hope that was an accident, though, Estella.
He's an expert in solving difficult issues and appreciates the importance of being a listener. However, he is a human of few words, and his social skills are potentially worrying.
Yeah, there's another thing to go and say. Despite the fact that they are all races, that we do have different races, all the humanoid characters are still human. The only ones that aren't humanoid are characters like Antal and Dapan that are actually fully animalistic, which is actually a really cool thing. I like that. Anyway, and his social skills are potentially worrying. Fortunately, he knows how to roast fowl fillets, and the flavor on par with those roasted by my own grandmother. Hence, there's nothing to worry about. You can roast fowl properly, can handle anything that comes their way. That's all. Everyone thinks that Catcher is the Z7 teammate that I'm least. that I'm least worried about. But I disagree. He has a habit of putting the feelings and needs of others before his own, both in business and in private. And that's certainly not something I like to see as the D17 captain. So when I see Catcher taking on extra work without being asked to, I adjust his subsequent task assignments. I don't want him overworking himself. Hikori. He is the strength focused. And team captain herself, Akakuri. Final strike, physical damage deals 17 dagger. Frontal slash deals heat damage and applies heat infliction. Enemy becomes staggered or hits a staggered node. Powerful. Okay, she's a boss one. She's a boss one. Okay. Yeah, she's a good boss killer then. Performs a returning dash with 2 thrust sequences, with each sequence dealing physical damage and recovering some SP. Squad, on me. Entering its chilling state and fires 3 rallying flares. Each firing recovers some SP. Enfield Industries, and she's a para. Team management, team building. Units of the patience, dedication are the secret ingredients needed to build and nurture a new team out of nothing. Tea breaks. Hot drinks and desserts can quickly alleviate exhaustion, eliminate conflict, promote understanding, and expedite meetings. Chew me. A good deed a day. Akakuri feels truly happy when she remembers that everything she does brings Enfield closer to its vision. Integrated physical training. Akakuri has set aside fashion, fine arts, literature, and other things that once interest her. Instead, she now spends her time exercising. Orpathy negative, standard, excellent, and normal. Operator Akakuri, also known as Shiba Momiji, graduated from the Neo Tsukushi Business School and joined Enfield Industries as a reserve operator. She now leads Operations Team Z7 in the Specialist Tech Division, overseeing both field operations and team management. With her background, she could have walked into any renowned TGCC company with a single recommendation. Yet she chose to join Enfield. Even here, she could have opted for a desk job, but during her rotation in the Specialist Tech Division, she volunteered to take on the challenge of rebuilding Operations Team Z7, stepping into the role of frontline operator. I believe Akakuri is always being driven by ideals and passion, which she is exactly, as always, she is exactly the kind of young talent Enfield needs. During her interview, she asked me, what's Enfield's vision as a great enterprise, and how does it plan to achieve it? This is a question only the administrator can truly answer. God damn it, another long one. Neo Tsukushi Business School News Special Edition. On the eve of the graduation ceremony, our reporter sat down with top graduate Shiba Momiji for an exclusive interview. Miss Momiji, you maintained the top GPA in your major for 4 years straight and won 2 gold medals in TGCC Youth Business Competition. What has kept you driven all this time? Shiba Momiji smiled and replied, it's just how I do things. Maybe it's the way my mother taught me to approach life ever since I was little. Shiba Momiji interned at several top-tier TGCC companies. Her experiences include an on-site rotation at the headquarters of Shinzo Trading, as well as contributing to a business proposal for TGCC's logistics coordination system. Her key optimization ideas for the risk assessment model received glowing feedback from company leaders. Yet, when asked about their achievements she's most proud of for the past 4 years, she spoke fondly of her work with the volunteer group Firefly Light. I've always believed that the true value of business and management lies not only in profit, but how we support one another. Firefly Light taught me how to stretch limited resources as well as help as many people as possible. When asked about future plans, your mother runs Shiba Trading as I assume you'll follow in her footsteps, especially since you've never publicly expressed her ambitions. With graduation just around the corner, can you share your plans? Shiba Momiji simply shook her head and grinned. I made my mind. You'll have to wait a little longer to find out. A self-recommendation letter.
Dear HR team at Enfield Industries, my name is Momiji Shiba, a student in Neo Tsukushi Business School. I am writing to express my interest in joining Enfield Industries, a position focused on resource management and personnel coordination. Though I do not come from a technical or combat background, I specialize in logistics, coordination, and on-site problem solving. I firmly believe these skills can make a meaningful reputation. I am ready to undergo any required training or evaluation and am willing to take on frontline responsibilities if needed. My goal is to be a dependable team member who helps others work more safely and efficiently. Thank you for your time and consideration. I have attached my resume, transcript, internship records, and project samples from past competitions. I look forward to hearing from you, Momiji. And she is an agility-focused character.
I'm sorry for how long that took. Later sessions of this will not have, I'm pretty sure will not have this much work, okay?